Welcome to Sunny Day Stamping. I'm Julie Baca. Sign up for my weekly email to receive free project sheets and updates on sales. Do you need a super fast card or are you a beginner stamper? I think you'll enjoy the project today. I've got a really clean and simple card. It's going to be super fast. And then I'm going to show you how to level it up 2 different ways if you have a couple more supplies and an extra minute. Before we get started, I just want to give a shout out to the Klompen Stampers team. I know that they're watching today. I'm so thankful for them. You know, when I joined Stampin' Up, it's because my wish list was over $100, and I thought, well, I'm just going to get the kit because that's the best deal out there, and then buy everything else I want at 20% discount. I was just really pleasantly surprised to find that I get access to this amazing community of stampers. They're so encouraging and so inspiring. If you've ever thought of joining, leave me a comment or reach out to me. I would really love to have you in my group. So to make this first card, you just need stamps, ink, and paper. Now for the stamps, I'm going to be using the Pansy patch, but seriously, this layout you can use with any stamp set. If there's like a stamp that you just love that you want to highlight, this is a perfect layout. Now for the Pansy, I'm going to use these 5 pieces, and all you need for the inks are 2 colors of ink and black. For the paper, you're just going to need a card base and a piece of cardstock cut at 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. Now, all the measurements for all 3 cards we're going to make today are over on my website, sunnydaystamping.com. Now, if you'd prefer to have a printed project sheet that has the measurements and the supplies and some written instructions, the link to the video, so that you can have this right next to you while you're crafting, these are for my email subscribers only. So go ahead and sign up for my email list and I'll send this out to you. Now, for the Klompen Stampers, for my team that's watching, I will post that over in our private Facebook group. All right, we're going to start by making this first card. I'm going to call this level 1, level 2, level 3. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to show you how I use this same concept using 2 other stamp sets that I have, just to show you how you can use what you've got at home. All right, so we're going to start by building our pansy. I'm not going to go into the details on how to build that because I just did a video of that. And I'll post it right up here. I don't want to bore you with the details of that if you already watched my other video on how to put this pansy set together. So now we're going to add this other, oh rats, I'm going to have to pull this down so I can get over it. This camera is in my way. So you can see I built this pansy in the top half of the card, and then I'm going to take a sentiment out of that stamp set and get ink all over myself. Oy! Okay, and I'm going to stamp this directly below my pansy. Now grab your card base. Where's my bone folder? There we go. And just make a nice crease. I'm using the thick cardstock for this card base. So it just feels really, really quality. Now, really, you could, if you don't feel like cutting this out, or maybe you don't have a paper trimmer and can't cut that out, just stamp directly on your card base. I feel like that would be really pretty. Okay, I mean, look how fast that is. Now, we're just going to throw a sentiment on the inside. This is from that same pansy stamp set. Wow, that's crooked. I should have done that first. I broke the cardinal rule. You're supposed to stamp first and then glue so that I could throw this out. You know what I'm going to do to fix that? And I'm going to do it later. I'm just going to take another sheet and I'm going to stamp on it and glue this in. All right, now we're on to level 2. So if you have an extra minute to cut out a 2 by 2 inch square, and you also have Stampin' Dimensionals, you can make this card. So for this card, you need the same white layer, but we're actually going to stamp our focal point on our 2 by 2 piece. So instead of stamping our sentiment in the middle, now I'm going to stamp it on the bottom. Oh, look, I got ink on there. I'm a mess. Okay, flip it over. I'm going to stamp the sentiment on the bottom right. And before we adhere this onto here, we're going to glue this onto our card base, which I've already folded and I already stamped on the inside. And look how straight it is this time. Now just throw some dimensionals on the back of here. I'm going to put all 4 on there because I don't want that dipping down. And this, just put it in the top half of that piece, kind of where you stamped it on the other one. All right, now we're on to our level 3 option. So if you have an extra minute more, you can cut out a black bead paste, a piece of black to showcase that focal point, and add some black matte dots. So just like in the other 3 cards, stamp your card base. Take this piece and glue it on. And obviously you can use other stamps from your set. I'm just making mine all the same. You can see this one, I made a happy birthday card. Stamp your focal point on the 2x2 and then glue it onto your black piece. Now I made this black piece an eighth of an inch wider, so it's cut at 2 1/8 by 2 1/8. And so if your stamp is a different size, cut your focal point stamp out and then bump your black up just by 1/8 of an inch. Now we'll put the dimensionals on the back of this so this whole piece is popped up. And then to add just a little accent, these are so cool. They've got the adhesive already on the back, so you don't have to mess with getting glue everywhere, which I definitely would get glue everywhere. And then I just liked the look of 3 along the line. And I noticed if it's not in the right spot, you can kind of mush it over a little bit and then press it down. Let's add one more. Okay, one thing is they got to be straight or it's going to look funny. All right, there. So there you go. You've got 3 very similar designs based on how much time you have and what supplies you have. Now, I just wanted to highlight this pansy set that just has some wonderful sentiments in here. This is the happy birthday, and it even has a great one for the inside. Let me show you some of the other cards I made. So for these cards, I used the Sweet as a Peach, and you can see that's our level 1. Here's our level 2, where I just popped that up with dimensionals, and this one is actually my favorite. And then level 3 here. So this is the stamp set I used for those. Look at all these awesome sentiments. And then this is the color scheme that I used. The cardstock were all the same, except for this measurement. I cut this a little bit bigger, 2 1/8 square. And so then this black square was at 2 1/4. Then I grabbed out my sweet ice cream set to make these cards and really had fun with the inside. Now I cut that popsicle at 2 by 3 inches. And then bumped up the black piece to 2 1/8 by 3 1/8. So I used Bermuda Bay with crushed curry and then the cinnamon cider for the sticks. If you're interested in purchasing any of these supplies, I've got a link down in the description of this video, or you can head over to my website, sunnydaystamping.com. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, you can subscribe and hit the bell button to get notified for my next video coming out. Have a sunny day.